All right. Much respect to you all. Let's go ahead and see what we got right here, okay? Oh boy. Um well, first let me go ahead and do this. Let me at least do this briefly. Just give me a second. If you don't mind, if you don't mind. So let's boom. Okay. All right. So welcome back to Smitty's Corner. So what I want to do for this right here is I want to go ahead and I want to I want to actually speak about something that I normally don't really tap into. I'm expanding just a little bit here, stepping outside of my realm, my box, right? So I'm going to be with the very, very minimal, right? The very little bit of information that I do have, um, and the experiences that I do have as far as like homes and stuff, home ownership, you name it. We're going to talk about that real quick. So what the video, so yeah, my mic be going out. So what the video consists of is we're going to be talking about what happens during, I guess, I don't know, foreclosures, I believe is what it is that he's speaking of. Look at me, not so prepared, right? I'm just trying to clean out this bucket list of stuff that I said that I would. Like I said, I would talk about it. So I'm just trying my best to keep my word. That's all. So we're going to go ahead and pull this video up. Just give me a moment. Let me go ahead and grab something. I'll be right with you. Thank you. All right, y'all, give me a second. Let me just. Ah, boy, I appreciate it. Oh, shoot. Let me grab something. Dang it. Okay, so uh, let me hold on. There we go. There we go. All right, now, please forgive me for that. I'm not always the most prep person. It's a lot of stuff I be doing, and I be having a hard time getting myself together. So here we go. Here we go. And I thank you all for bearing with me. Thank you very much. Uh, I guess once this live is over, just fast forward to when I start getting to the topic. Skip through the BS. All right, so let's go ahead and get this going. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So I want to go ahead and talk about something that I have been looking a lot more into and I've been a lot more interested in. And that's property, right? Just being able to look at. No, not at all. But the one thing that I will say is that I love to go ahead and get a good feel, a good taste for what I'm preparing myself to do. So that way, like anything that I ever have stepped into, I know that I'm ready to go forward, right? So I just want to make sure I do my due diligence and just kind of hear stories, so on and so forth, right? So my little teeny bit of information that I have, I'll go ahead and share that, okay? Which really isn't anything special or important. But I just want to hear this story. Now, of course, me, like a lot of people from my age and generation, we grew up to this guy. Definitely somebody from the good state of Texas. And let's go ahead and listen to his story about what took place with him. Is my mic on? There it is. About what took place with him when it comes to living circumstances, right? So we're going to take this time. We're going to listen. Let me pull this up. So let me go ahead and get the video. Wow. Oh, there it is right here. Okay, cool beans. So let's get through that commercial. And now I'll just do this, and boom. So yeah, we're going to take this time and we're going to listen nice and intent, and we will see exactly what we got. Yeah, they killing me on these commercials. But we'll see. Hold on, give it just 1 second. Now, me having property, I want to know more about the dynamics of actually, I guess you can say, these steps of not just property ownership, but when one decides to do, let's say, business on your land. So me, I want to cultivate, I want to grow vegetation, plants, all kind of things that people buy. Like literally, I will grow house plants, pot them, and sell them. This is something I'm going to begin. I have ample experience in the field from natural upbringing, like just my upbringing. I learned all about these things. Let's go ahead and do this real quick, right? So before we get started in it, let me see. Let me go to style. Let me see. Nah, that's, oh goodness gracious. I don't know how I do this. I swear, y'all, I'm learning. We gonna get it at some point. I mean, we gonna get it. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. Where's my signature? Okay. So let's go ahead and get into this story. So this story right here is, let me see something. Oh, snap. No. Okay, there we go. I don't know what that was. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this very briefly. Let's see what we have when it comes to his story on. Now, mind you, the reason why I actually do like hearing stories about things like this when it comes to, I guess you can say, more prominent, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, prominent figures. All right, cool beans. If we go through the whole housing struggle, property, paperwork not being right, this was messed up, it is refreshing to know that this really is something across the board. So at least you don't feel singled out. At least you know it's not just you. Nah, that's across the board thing, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop speaking because I run my damn mouth too much. All right. Let's go ahead and get to it. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go.
Of course, so he can play basketball in the backyard.
What if recording high quality?
That was just great. Just effing great. I swear on mother's moon. They just be playing with you. All right, y'all. Let's try this again. Let's see what we got. So let's listen to this story. All right, I'm pull this back up. And let's go ahead and take time and just listen to it real quick. So I don't, housing, things of that nature. It's not really my field. It's not something that I know too much of. So what I'm going to do is I am going to listen to Slim Thug's story. He's somebody who, in the industry, revenue, different businesses, probably restaurant like a turkey leg hut or something, I'm sure of it, clothing line. So he has assets. Let's listen to what himself went through, right? He himself. Because me knowing that I'm going to put some land, I'm going to put vegetation and grow plants on my grandfather's land. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell house plants. Dead ass. I'm going to get into selling house plants. I'm going to grow them. Yep. I'm going to cultivate house plants and grow them. So let's listen to what Slim Thug has to say. Now, the reason why I'm allowing this part to play out, I want you to look at everything that he has in his lifestyle. And then I want us to look at the transition from this right here, which is the part that they make up for us, right? Yeah, I'm doing house plants. Yeah. I'm selling all your house plants, indoor and out, hanging baskets, you name it. I'm going to cultivate that. We're going to look at this, look at his lifestyle, look at what's going on, and let's go from there. And then I want us to, let's then go ahead and pay attention to the story in which he speaks of.
Slim Thug talks about his past financial.
Me personally, I never seen steps that light up. Not as you go up them. That's a luxurious home. Ain't that something? Let's see what took place with this home.
Troubles as he drives by his first suburban house.
My realtor lady let my shit go in foreclosure. I lost the house to foreclosure because she didn't do the short sale right and waited too long. It was only like $10,000 or some shit like that. I lost all that shit. I had a foreclosure on my credit for over 7 years. Had
Foreclosure on his credit for over 7 years. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is why I'm so happy. Majority of my life has been debit, not credit. You want to know why? Because what I have, anything that you see in my background, that was paid for. Nothing behind me or anything around me or on my body or in my present is anything owed. You see? Foreclosure in your credit for 7 years plus. And so, you know, it's little things like this, like financially. Again, I'm not a financial guru. Look, all I know how to do is count my chips and pay my bills. That's for the most part the extent of my financial advice. I pay for mine. I keep my house running in order. That's what I know I have. Okay. Now, I mean, really, we could be very dangerous to ourselves financially. There are so many different organizations and everything where like it's clean and you can really get something going for yourself. We don't look into these things as much as we should. We could be doing a much better job at looking into financial literacy, so we don't wound up with awesome houses, great clothes, and just to have to be trying to auction off everything because you're trying to recoup. That's not the point. See, the thing that I've always known is that the day that you see me with the Lamborghini is the day that everything in my life is 1000% paid for. There are no paper tags on that Lambo. Whatever it may be that I want to get of extravagance. We all have some kind of extravagant wish, right? That special toy just for you, whether it's that power tool set you always wanted, that car, the home, the lake out back in particular, whatever it might be. If I do acquire those things, I'm not going to get it and have the government or anything over my head. Every day I wake up, I'm looking at it, but biting my nails, hoping that they don't come knock on this door. It's not the way I want to live. That's why I'm so thankful that I'm able to live in a much more just peaceful, laid back, you know. And I promise you, he who does not desire tomorrow is he who will most likely greet it. You just let that sit with you for the day.
The buy my townhouse downtown cash, I was like, because my credit was up and I couldn't get no fly ass spot. So, man, but that was the best thing ever. That's when I learned I ain't want no bills. When I cashed out my townhouse downtown and lived in that house, I was like, man, I was up because it was out the blue. You know, you just imagine you got to spend that much money just out the blue without knowing. It's like, damn. But now we back 800, baby. We good. We made it through that. We cashed out the townhouse and lived life with no bills and learned that was the best life to ever live. So here we are back again at that great spot. So then after that, right? Townhouse up. I had a townhouse in East Dallas.
Okay, so apparently so far in the story, so that grand, huge home and all of these things, yeah, went to a townhouse. I don't have nowhere near the money that he has, and I'm even in a single family home myself. I'm not in a townhouse. The townhouse to me is literally a step from back to an apartment. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Some people, depending on your lifestyle, an apartment is perfect for you. Not everybody wants a yard. Some people got allergies. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want woods in the back. Me, that's a desire of mine. I need property. I need space. I need land. I need my elbow room. I need elbow room. Oh, he's talking about both of them, Sunkiss. Yeah, so that luxurious house and stuff, nah. He's talking about a townhouse right now, but I believe also in here he gets to talking about that too. But, you know, again, the point that I'm making with this whole demonstration right now is this, right? This entire demonstration. Would you think, looking at the beginning of this, right? Where are we at? 143? Would you think at the very beginning, and we know him as a artist and everything else, would you think that this was him? Right? Tank story.
Slim Thug talks about his past financial troubles as he drives by his first suburban house.
My realtor lady let my shit go in foreclosure. I lost the house to foreclosure because she didn't do the short.
Would you think that's the same person? Let's get back to the story. Where we at? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Go on, let's go.
Central City, just imagine you got a penthouse and a townhouse. I got 2 Rolls Royces. I had the Ghost and the Drop Head. Man, life, no bills. I got a townhouse. My cable is like $100 and the light bill like $100. I'm getting money. I'm Slim Thug. Shit was amazing, bro. I'm like, man, this shit live.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, so life came back together for me, man. And then guess what happened? This here. Why is this so stupid? His mama go crazy, and now he move in with me.
He looked just like his father too. He looked just like him. Looked just like Dad.
So I say, oh shit, we got him playing basketball down. We got him playing basketball in downtown in this little bitty ass small townhouse. I'm like, damn, I gotta get him a house, man. I can't just have this tall ass in this little bitty ass townhouse.
Right there. You know what you can invest in property? Possibly maybe 1 or 2 a couple, build them up, renovate, if you know how to work your mojo. And I mean the legitimate way, and I don't know scam and scheme and stuff, right? The money that one of those Rolls Royce costs, you can get 2-3 properties. It's all kinds of stuff that just is abandoned. Great location, ready to be built up, ready to be of servitude to a family or anything. You can build them up and make them Airbnbs. Did you know a lot of people who are like, see, this is the teeny bit that I know. You know, there are quite a few people who are, what's that word? Philanthropists, I believe. Something like that. Where they just rich people that sit around and they, you know, their dying wishes to just give away a fortune to somebody that has something beneficial going on. That could be you. You know what else you can do? Just keep on grinding. The point is that I'm making, there are multiple avenues that one can take to obtain such a goal. He said, I need to get a bigger house. I just saw what you were in. That was his, you know, his big penthouse, extravagant, you know, mansion, what have you. Let me just say it like this. Yo, we invest the wrong way so much. We need a much better investment strategy, We need to know how to invest outside the country, just like foreigners invest in things here. There are a lot of people all over the world. They don't just reap the benefits of their land and soil. They also have a hand in ours. And then I look around and I see a lot of my people. It's like we barely can get a hand in our own stuff here, let alone extend. It's a lot we can do. It's a lot that can be done. Let's keep on listening to what he has to say. I'm gonna go ahead and spark my J. I digress. My mic is muted. Let's rock out.
You know what I'm saying? Just he driving. My mama driving him way to this side of town to go to Tomball High every day. This shit is like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what? How much gas money is this every single day to go from townhouse to? I said, damn. I had a Joel Osteen moment like, damn, I gotta grow up, man. Let me
So there's a thing called townhouse hopping. Or did I just make that up? Townhouse hopping? Yo, this is the Slim Thug Swisher House. That's making revenue to this day. That Texas is making money to this day. He still has a check coming in. Now again, what debt is over his head? And this is why even when we speak about this whole making six figures and everything else, you know, I spoke about it before. I have homies who make well over six figures. I don't mean they just skimming over, well over. And I've loaned them money and I've never crossed the threshold of 90K. Never been past 85. And I got homies who make well over 100K. And it ain't with no whole bunch of, but I remember the moments I actually helped them out. You want to know why? Because even though I don't make as much, my lifestyle, the way I live, I always have a little extra something to spend. Because I don't consume a bunch of debt. I don't know a lot about the credit stuff, but one thing I do know is don't accumulate debt. You know something? That was enough for me to know to keep my credit score in order. Could it be higher? Yes, it could. Why is it not? Because I don't borrow stuff. I pay. Generally speaking, have I had a loan from a friend or something? Come on now. But when it comes to like them peoples, whatever car I own, everything right now, you know, and it's not a flex or nothing like that. It's just, I'm saying how I keep money in order. Like this home does not have mortgage. I don't have a mortgage. It's just utilities and property tax. Just make sure you turn the lights off. Don't burn it up. That's all I gotta do. Just don't burn my bills up. And it's just me here. It's just me. So it ain't a lot being used. So you keep your bills down. You should be able to maintain things. Another thing, I don't understand the concept of us when we go purchase things that we know the upkeep is going to be a lot more than what we know we can afford. But we get this thing where like we feeling real good at the moment and we just can't wait to tell all of our high school haters, look at me now. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to get to say, look at me now, and then you fall back down. It's better to just maintain a regular degular. Let's keep on rocking out. I digress. My mic is muted.
Let me change my life, give up all my hoes, the penthouse, the townhouse. Let me be a father. Move to Pearland because my other son lives out there.
Forgive me, y'all. My nose is running bad. Forgive me. I'm sorry about that. Let's go.
Kobe, so I can move to Pearland and be close to my son Kobe, and then Junior can go to school in the neighborhood. Let me get the house with the basketball court so he can play basketball in the backyard, and you know have a Joel Osteen life, right? No, it didn't play out like that.
Let me ask you all this, whoever may be listening. Do you believe that he made a bad decision? Do you believe most celebrities make a bad decision? Let's say average entertainment hip hop celebrity or R&B man or woman. Let's say average net worth 10 million. Nah, it's a bit much, believe it or not. I'm gonna say about 7 million. And if they spend about a good 5 million of that 7 or more on cars, clothes, hoes, and jewelry, you know, the typical blowing bags at events. Do you believe that these people make the investment because they have to keep up with the image? Or is it truly that they just really do believe that the money is endless? So is it that he really doesn't want to do all of that, but he knows, I mean, heck, I'm a celebrity. Like, if I don't have a certain image, I won't stay relevant. People will start to clown me and say I fell off. Or do they really have it set in their mind? Nah, I'm just supposed to be this way. I'm a king, I'm a queen. We're going to boss it up and we're going to blow the bag till the wheels fall off. You let me know. Let's keep on going.
3 months after I moved out there, Kobe mama moved that to Arizona because she thought I was trying to steal him and make him move in with me so she wouldn't get no child support. So now, instead of me being by 2 of my sons, I'm in Pearland, further than my family than ever, further from my other kids than ever. So I'm in.
Give me a second. My bad. Let's keep on going. Forgive me. Let me go ahead and see this right here. What we got? Elaborated enough. All right, let's go.
Oh, mother.
Let's see if we can get more elaboration. So we'll go ahead and see what we got. All right, Sunkiss, thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate you, and thank you very much, Alkaline, for being in the building. Salute to you all.
Anybody in no Pearland? But he going to school in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Gave up all my hoes. I'm gonna be a good dad. Watch this. Shit backfired, kid. Now I'm in Pearland with no hoes.
All right. The only reason why, and I'm just going to say this and keep it real short and simple. When you chase hoes, for the most part, everything most beneficial will avoid you, or it goes in a further direction away from you. When you are gravitated towards your purpose and your path, everything you've ever fantasized and wanted in life seems to just come along the way. You don't have to look for her, it, him, nothing. Be on your path, be on your purpose. You will come across that person's path at some point. I promise you. Just stay on course.
Now I'm in Pearland with no hoes. Because they don't want to drive that far either. It ain't as far as Cypress, but it's the closest suburb, so we gonna f with it. We ain't gonna leave. But this that bullshit I be talking about, kid. So now, we got the old school. We trying to drive them hoes from Pearland. They breaking down on the freeway. Seeing record Slim Thug, old school smoking from having to drive so far to get to the club and shit.
And that's another thing, what we allow to go to our heads. That's another reason why I do believe I'm very thankful for being spared of actually being adopted into the whole hip hop community on a mainstream level. On a local level, I'm that dude where I'm from. Still is on a legacy level. But I'm very thankful that God kept me from that. Lord knows how far I could have took my mind or my spirit or my life. And it's a lot. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that we hear 24/7 how they just be saying, I want my soul back. I don't think that's just a gimmick. I don't think that's just, nah. I think sometimes here and there, yeah, you got folks that play around, but nah, when they say they want their soul back, as in they gave up everything about themselves to obtain something just for you to then turn around and still go through the same struggles as your everyday citizen, like the everyday Joe. You did all of that. So now you lost the hoes, the clothes, and the cars, and you don't have your soul. I'll let you think about that for a minute. Let's keep on going.
Damn. Trying to be, you know what I'm saying? 10 miles till empty. Yeah, so, what happened after that? Oh, it ain't over. You think shit over? Y'all think this light, y'all don't think I deserve the 17 Rolls Royces and the shit I talk? Okay, so yeah, now I'm out here. Remind you, my credit is foreclosed on. I have a fucked up name. I had to hurry and cash my house out.
And another thing, again, nothing I'm going to be talking about financial wise is anything I don't think any of us already don't know. Do you know what happens if, Lord forbid, something happens to him just out of nowhere and he has all that debt? You know who it goes to? I'll let you look that up. Where the debt goes when you go. Oh, what you thought it was just erased? Nah. They transfer it. But who do they transfer it to? Let's keep on rocking out.
To get it all the way out the people name who I had to get it in because I had a fucked up credit name. So people don't even know like that. Like, I had to do a bunch of shit.
I can't front. I love the fact that I got a regular ass car. I would say the nicest thing I do have is my home. But I got a regular ass car. I drive Toyota. I got a regular car. But I love the fact that I don't owe out a bunch of stuff everywhere. It is such a liberating feeling. I don't have all that over my head. And I'm not on child support. I don't have student debt loan. I don't have any of these things that burden and keep me down. I'm not getting into no financial numbers. It's nobody's business. Only thing I'm saying is that I damn sure do live comfortable. Do I have moments here? Yeah, of course. Because things pop up, when you own a home, like things just pop up. But I'm very thankful. Let's keep on going.
And go through a lot of shit. And then you know what happened though? Let me tell you what happened though. I'm gonna tell you the main part of this story you need to hear. When I was trying to be Joe Osteen and get that house in Pearland and be a good father, I kept getting denials and signs that I shouldn't have did it. You shouldn't buy this. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't. I forced my way into it. I did it a way that I shouldn't have did it. That wasn't smart. I had to be stressed out behind that shit. After I got everything together and paid the motherfucker off, the motherfucker got flooded. It got flooded out. While I'm in Miami, and it's got the motherfucking Houston freeze, all the pipes in the
That's another thing as well. That's another thing. Um, is location. I would say that's another thing that I definitely, the little bit of information that I do know about, buying homes or what have you. And, because I love to look up a little bit of everything. I have noticed that a lot of the more successful realtors, the number one thing that they definitely, before they even want to see what the house looks like, what is the location? They will tell you no. Some will tell you no just because you told them the area. They don't care how nice it is and what it looks like. Nope. That area is off limits. Why? Because of things like that can take place, the liability of weather and things of that nature. I'm not saying houses aren't sold in Tornado Alley. I don't know why they are. You know a tornado's going to come through there, but they want to live there. Somebody's going to sell them a home. But the more successful, prominent ones, from what I've seen, nah. They are very, very detailed in what spots they go to show clients areas. And they love when they can brag about the weather, these type of special, I don't know, animal, whatever it might be that you'll see in this area, like a kind of bird, whatever. They love to tell you and brag about that. I've been on walkthroughs before. I've experienced that. I've seen it. So when you have a home that's like in certain places, man, it could be real nice. Like, for example, I'll tell you right now, the houses with the largest liabilities, houses that is right there on the edge of large bodies of water. Why? Because we don't ever know when some kind of storm, what year is going to come through. You can be there for a good 8, 9, 10 years. Doing great, loving it. Everything's regular. You didn't know that this huge hurricane Albert or whatever was going to come through the 12th, 13th year. And you right there on that water. Your house may not be pushed down, but it could be flooded, streets flooded, car damaged, home damaged. And what I've noticed is that not everybody is able to afford the insurance that comes along with those parts of it as well. That homeowner's insurance that protects you from flood and fire, tree fall, things of that nature, right? Lightning strikes. Like, I was surprised the list all the way down to rodent insurance. Yeah, because certain areas, you just might get a whole bunch of raccoons and rats all in your pipe. And then, they have all kinds of insurance. It's not just flood and fire and car. Because they have mudslide insurance for people who have houses that are built on the side of hills where a mudslide can happen. They have hurricane insurance. They have tsunami tornado insurance. I don't understand why I would want to live somewhere where that's the insurance I would have to think about buying. I'll just take the regular flood or something, because no matter where you are, a large rain, you never know if that can happen. Flood is more common than Tornado Alley. I don't need the Wizard of Oz scene coming down my street, although it did happen in Beltsville. Yep. I think it was around like 98. I was just around the corner at the park. And I didn't know that tornadoes jump. It doesn't just flow through. Nah, they'll hit a spot, pick up, drop back down, hit a spot, pick up, drop back down. I was only 3 blocks away from where it dropped, and it dropped right behind my house. Oh yeah, the whole shed, me and my neighbors, I think about 4 or 5 houses was tore up. The only tornado I ever remember in Maryland, but we did have like about 2 or 3 I know within my lifetime. We don't get those often, but we did have one. So where I was, it was just raining really, really bad. so hard. It was the summertime, I think. And we were waiting for the rain to stop hitting so hard so we can just dart to the car. Because it was one of those, like, just a few feet. Like, if you just go check the mail and come back in, you soaking. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we got back to the car. Man, it was absolutely, it looked like a third world country when we went down my street. Like, when we went up the hill and then we made like a right, we made a left and then another left. Yeah, right, left, left. And then once we at the top of the hill coming down into my street, I didn't know what the heck was going on. Car doors open, busted windows, trash cans in somebody's tree. Oh yeah, baby carriages and bushes, sheds and stuff. But it's crazy because it's like majority of it just kind of went down and hit the backyards of our home. And it's weird the way it was a protection. Let me just put it that way. But yeah, like I had a circumstance like that. I done got all the way into that story and we talking about real estate. Let me get off the Wizard of Oz. Forgive me. Let's get back to the story.
The whole house, flood the whole house out. I should have followed my instinct and didn't go out there because I moved to Pearland to be by my other son, and this mama moved him 3 months later, so that was finesse.
Hold on. Where'd he say he moved to? Did he say what I thought he said?
Jimmy, and it's got the motherfucking Houston freeze, all the pipes in the whole house, flood the whole house out. I should have followed my instinct and didn't go out there because I moved to Pearland to be by my other son, and this mama moved him 3.
Okay, he said Pearland. I thought he said Maryland. Okay, all right.
3 months later, so that was finesse. We could have moved to the near north or some shit. Instead of that, or in the city somewhere and got a house. But I had signs to not do it, but I pushed to do it. It finally worked out in the end. It's paid off. After the insurance gave me money, so I was able to redesign it like I wanted to. So at the end of the day, it all came together. But that wasn't no easy journey to be here, man. There's a lot of shit I had to go through to be here. That's how I ended up downtown. I had to get that spot when the house got flooded out because I had so many cars and nowhere to park them hoes. And they was the only people who would let me park that many cars.
Where are you at? Where you at? There you go.
Are you serious right now, bro?
That's the problem. That's the problem when we invest in too many of the wrong things. You know, something called excess. We'll get a 10-bedroom mansion and it just be us and 2 other people. Now I know we always talking about, nah, that's in case my homies want to come stay. Why don't you get a smaller home that's more than enough space for you? I'm talking about property, land, all of that. Why don't you get a smaller home that's more than enough space for you and your 3-4 kids or whatever family, right? And then the rest of that money, instead of having homies come stay with you, why don't you invest in something to where you can employ them? They can get hired. You're big enough, you can rub elbows. Who in your circle, in your family, has certain talents? What are they good at? Now, you can now bring people in to be of an attribute. That is how the cycle is supposed to go. We're supposed to get to a certain point so I can bring you right along with me. Not so I can just shack you up and let you stay lazy and complacent. That don't benefit you. I'm actually disabling you more than helping you. Let's go.
At my spot. But I love the spot so much, I just refuse to let that bitch go. Don't forget about the gas, 8 miles to empty. It's a beautiful home now. Anytime, any advice for a first-time buyer? If you ain't married, don't do it. I don't think so. Keep them bills low as possible, live a happy, free life. I know a lot of people who sell houses and tell you different. Man, To have a house, it costs, man. You always gotta be spending some money on that house. Some property tax, maintenance, actual bills. The more house you got, the more bills you got. You might get married to somebody and it don't make sense to have that house. Wait till you get married and then figure that shit out.
Man, listen to that. It may not make no sense for you to have that house. Yeah, you're right. I'm be real with you. It don't make no sense. I'm gonna tell you right now, like me, like shit. It's me, except for when my daughter comes by. She has her own room. It's upstairs. She knows exactly where to go when she come in the door. She know where her room at. But I'm just in a 5.5 bedroom. And this junk be too much for me at times. Like seriously. The only reason, see, I love my yard. See, I need that land and space again. Elbow room. I need that around me. But like, I can't even front. I wouldn't even want a certain size. Like me by myself, I don't even want a certain size home. That's for what? For what? And you know, I just find it like it's greedy. Now that's the true form of ego and arrogance. When you overconsume, when you don't know the balance, when we just buy stuff just to buy stuff, just to say, I have this many of this. Who else driving them? I can't drive them cars you have. I can't wear them clothes you wear. We ain't even the same size. So for what reason would I be so concerned about you having all of this, all of that, when all we then turn around and hear is the stories? Now he's not like broke or nothing from what I know. You know how the celebrity life work, right? We all know that. He's still all right? I'm just saying, for those of us who may not be in his position, that's why we got to be so careful. That's why we got to be so careful with how we spend and having financial literacy. I'm going to tell you right now, I just started really, I would say within the last year or so, really started diving into that and looking more into it. What is the legitimate route? What is the most beneficial route? What is the easier route? What is the route that's going to cost you the most money? You can get it done, but you're going to have to drop that bag to do it this way. I'm starting with the basics. I don't have nobody teaching me this. I generate this information from what it is I'm capable of looking up and how much I'm at this moment capable of comprehending. I don't know the jargon of that world. So you got to learn the jargon. You got to know what the terms and the little sayings are, so you can keep up with the flow of discussion when you're at certain seminars and things. See, again, I know at least the basics, and I know nothing I'm saying is anything that none of us don't know. But as I'm learning. We getting there. Let's go.
My advice, if that's what y'all on, I know most people trying to get married out here. You know what I'm saying? I love my house at the end of the day. Like I say, I pray, I'm happy. I don't want to leave it. It's cool. I'm good. I don't want no other house because I don't even need that. All I really need is my spot downtown, keeping it real. That's where my happiness lies. But yeah, $1 million houses have a lot of bills and maintenance and property taxes.
I mean, I thank him for saying that, but it's like, don't we know that from the most basic of things? Let's start with the phone. Don't we know the more expensive and the newer model phones are going to cost more, and insurance, everything incorporated with that phone is going to cost more? Don't we know this with vehicles? The more expensive and luxurious the vehicle, 9 times out of 10, the higher the insurance. 9 times out of 10, the higher the maintenance is going to be for things like tires and rims and oil changes. We ain't even talking about dropping a transmission. That's total. So of course, on a basic level, The little bit that I know, I at least know, yeah, that makes sense. Logically, as a logical man, that makes sense. It should be a whole lot of money involved in keeping up $1 million home. I'm pretty certain. I know property taxes kicking your ass. I'm pretty certain. Excuse my English, because I don't speak French.
Even if you pay it out, you still gotta pay that shit. So it's just gonna be like you paying rent for the rest of your life when you pay the property taxes, the fees it costs to maintain.
The very first thing he named. I just said, mind you, I swear it's a raw reaction. It's one of those I just look at a little bit. I ain't seen the whole thing. What I just say, I know property taxes kicking your behind. First thing he say is what? What's the first thing he say right behind that?
$1 million houses have a lot of bills and maintenance and property taxes. Even if you pay it out, you still gotta pay that shit. So it's just gonna be like you paying rent for the rest of your life when you pay the property taxes, the fees it costs to maintain one. It's gonna be like you paying rent for life, even if that paid out. Wait till you.
Now, from my little bit of information that I know, I could be wrong, but what it sounds like to me, it sounds like the same description as somebody saying it's better to just save your money than to lease. Don't lease to own, because you will never own it. You will forever be leasing. See, I know the basics. So let's keep on elevating in what it is that we know. Let's go.
Figure out who you gonna be with, what kind of life you gonna live, and do it like that. That's my advice.
I think I know exactly what he's trying to say. So, in translation, live within your means. That's it. Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm old, so I'm able to be at a good place. I'm a rapper too, so I'm able to make a lot more money than a lot of motherfuckers who ain't just out here living check to check.
Yep. And he said it right there. Oh, my mic, god dang it. He said it right there. Just like how I mentioned earlier. He is in a better financial position. All that Swisher House, all that. He said, I'm a rapper. Yeah. He still gets residuals. He still gets the residuals from old songs, features, everything. Yeah. He still gets a check. Because he put that work in. So, I mean, salute to that, definitely. But my main point is, before we, as the everyday normal person, get to jumping out here and thinking we can just go out there and be willy-nilly with our dollars and be willy-nilly with the money and stuff and just be spending because we're trying to be like them. Now watch again. Let's see how it all circles back. They go through the same things that we go through. But the fortunate kind of part with some of them, not all, they do have like that forever check that they get paid while they sleep. If you oversleep, you can lose your whole job. See, their position is different. And so when we keep on, like, I ain't gonna lie, I don't even say keeping up with the Joneses. Because you know something, I would say in this day and age, it would be a lot safer if you did try to keep up with your neighbor who lives just like you. Yeah, stay content. And don't grow and elevate. But yes, there's nothing wrong with being content. That means that you are happy with what you have. Why? Because then when you have more, you're going to know how to celebrate that the best. When you don't even know how to be happy with what you have, you'll never appreciate anything. And you'll be the person who continuously says, I need more, 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 more. We got to elevate, elevate, elevate. We're in $1 million house. Well, we need $1 billion house. We're in $1 billion house. Well, I want $1 trillion house. That's how you become part of what we would call spiritual gluttony. There is such a thing. It's called spiritual gluttony. It's not just consuming food. It's consuming too much of what it is that you don't need. That's what it's about. You're just consuming just to consume. See, the thing is, he's speaking about one thing, but you always know I have my different angle of a response. Okay? So let's keep on listening.
I ever thought about buying a condo downtown? I would, but where am I parked? 20 cars, 17, I think. I'm done.
I be having such a hard time with that every time I hear it. Me personally, all right, so if I had all together, right? So I do have one, but if I had the car of my dreams, right? Hold on. So if I had the car of my dreams, and if I had me a good pickup, I mean solid big boy. I want that big boy, a good pickup. And then just a nice sports car. There we go. I'm good. I have the family car, that's the regular degular, right? But it's not regular degular. It's gonna be a nice up-to-date, right? It's gonna be beautiful, clean on the inside, always well detailed and kept up, no dust around the dashboard. We ain't doing that. It's about riding clean. Then you got your truck for when you have certain activities going on. Got the big cookout or something, don't worry, I'll pull the big boy out. I can put everything on a hitch. We good. You smell me now? Camping, everything else. And then, of course, maybe it's the anniversary and me and the missus want to go, to something nice and be fly. I'm going to go ahead and pull the 2-door out. So I have one for each. I don't need 17 cars. I am one body. I don't need to be able to switch up cars now, mind you, okay, I will say, it's just a thing with us as Black folks. Like, we love us some clothes, right? We love us some clothes. We love us some shoes, right? So I understand that part. I do. I get that part a little bit, being fresh, staying clean. And I would say there is a little more pressure on the celebrity status to make sure that your wardrobe stays up to cap. I can say that because I don't know, it's just something about the celebrities. It's like you're always supposed to have something new on, so slightly I can get that part, but let's keep on listening.
Downtown because I'm at my spot because I got all the cars. I got to store them all somewhere. My zip code is number 2. I'm in the heart of the city. I live on Texas. H-Town, look in the motherfucking Astro Stadium out my balcony from a penthouse, living on Texas. How real can you get? Like, that's like the realest shit on earth. Like, that's it.
To my fellow niggas and hoods all over, can we finally get it? Everybody hood is the realest to them. Where I'm from, where I know, that's the realest to me. So I don't knock what he says. But everybody's hood is the realest to them. I guarantee you, wherever state you in, wherever you at, where it go down, that's what you know. So let's keep on listening. We're almost done here.
I'm cool. I don't need nothing. I'm straight. And I got 17 cars parked downtown right there. We good. We straight. We like that spot. We got 6 miles to empty. Yeah, man. So now that's my house bill. That's my only bill now. I don't have a house bill. So now my apartment is my bill now. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if Sunkiss is still there, but you were right. Yeah, he's in an apartment. So he went from that huge home. Because that spot that we saw, where we at? We are at 1124. This right here.
Slim Thug talks about his past financial troubles as he drives by his first suburban house.
That is his real actual home. That, I don't know, was or something. So that's what I guess he's speaking about under foreclosure. Let's get back to it. Well, God damn it, Jim. Give me 1 second, child. My bad. I gotta remember that shit. Yeah. All right. So let's get back to it. Here he is.
6 miles to empty. You feel me? So, and how I make that make sense is because if I had to pay for storage for all my cars, it would be a lot more than what I'm paying to have a penthouse apartment looking into the stadium. You feel me? Yeah, so ain't no property tax in the apartment. Ain't no extra bills. You know what it is. The utilities ain't high from a building.
I mean, listen, it's okay, brother. It's all right. You still one of us. You leveled down. It's a lot of like older couples that do that. That's the main reason. Older couples who have larger homes, they do that all the time. And it's not even because of the money necessarily, but they'll level down just because it's more accommodating to live. Might have been too many steps, too many rooms to clean and keep up with. We don't even use this area. You know what? Let's level down. Yes, believe it or not, there are a lot of older couples who have lived that life, and I ain't gonna say they didn't brag about it. Who am I to say that? But I would say that most of them just lived it. And then one day they're like, you know what? We're in our older stages now. I think we need to get a flatter home. Something where all sides of the house we can just kind of walk out. Right? Things of that nature. So it's all kinds of different modes and things that come with it. But let's keep on rocking out. I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go.
Especially a woman. I don't encourage no woman to have a house until you find you a guy. If you just single and you got bread, stack that shit, boo. Keep stacking. Invest that shit. If you just got it like that.
I really do wonder, why do most men, I know this is a little side piece, I'm not going to get too deep into it. Why is that always the message? Yo, just bump these hoes and stack your bread, chase that bag. I'm not saying derail your task for a relationship, no. What I speak of is don't think that that's the best route. Let me tell you why. What do you think would be safer, more financially beneficial? If you have all this money and you just running around tricking all day. I don't trick, never needed to, but I've been around some tricks because I've lived long enough and I've seen enough. Tricking is expensive, very expensive. You know that old school saying, it's cheaper to keep it. So it's like, I don't understand. It's like, why would we tell young brothers, you got the bag, so just do your thing and go, live it up? What do you think that young man or whomever is going to do with all that money and just being told live free? And I don't mean live, like being told to do anything. More than likely, they're going to go do anything. What does anything generally lead to? Bad choices, poor decisions, and then they what? Fumble and blow the bag. So everything was for nothing. That man could be with the awesome woman or something, or at least by himself. You see? Now, I'm not saying he said that in particular. I'm just saying, like, I do notice that is a big message that's like just thrown out there. Like, yo, you got the money, you young, you in your 20s, young blood, just go do your thing. What? And then when he's in court, he done had several STDs, 2 or 3 women claiming that he's the father. Now he's spending more money on lawyers and vaccinations and all kinds of stuff. The money's just being now, does that money, is it now invested? Well, yeah, technically, but not to a cause that would benefit him or anybody around him. If those are his kids, now more money's being taken out of them kids' mouths and going to a lawyer because things just weren't done right. I don't get, why do we push that message? It doesn't make any sense to me. We should not be telling the young brothers that they should be. I'm not saying advocate specifically, get married before you're 25. I'm not saying all of that. Everybody's path will be their own path. But what I am saying is, I do think about that. Like it's so ASS backwards to even begin to try to preach such a message. Nah, you should be learning how to have the most discipline when you're at your least disciplined state. Why? Because how much you think you're gonna have mastered by the time you hit your mid-30s and up? You're gonna be one of them. You right on it. You right on everything. You see? Let's keep on going.
Yeah, you can get a property with 5 miles to empty. I don't even know where the next gas station at on the cool. You have to push this old Junior, you the youngest. That might be the miles at the park today. Us pushing this mother. Swing on that round. Swing on that round like I don't give a damn. Feel me? If you wanna talk about it, like even like I was talking about yesterday, like the marriage shit, that one wife shit is over here. It's not over there. They have more than one wife. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit that's natural.
I'm gonna stop you right there because I can't stand. I'm not even gonna let you get that far, my G. We're gonna stop that. We're going to stop that one right there. Let's make it very, very clear. Those who actually do live, that lifestyle, I don't know why I always get a brain fart when I need to think of what that word is. But the rules are is this, first and foremost. You are to be able to equally take care of all women. Equally. So, for example, if I have 3 wives, I can't buy one wife a Cuban zirconian and then get the other wife or something that I like the best or the most, blue diamonds, raw cut. Every last one of them has to get the same thing. If I buy a Benz for one wife, I will have to get a Benz for the other 2. I'm not allowed to bring home just one Benz. It don't matter if it's her birthday. On her birthday, the other 2 wives have to receive gifts of equal value. It's expensive. So you can't be in a position where you have a large home and you go from townhouse, now you in an apartment talking about life is good, living free. And then you want to try to mention multiple wives and what they do in other countries. You mean like Dubai? You know how much money them dudes be having in them palaces? Far beyond anything that you know. They probably pay your producers. Let's keep going.
In other places, the food, they don't sell this food over here. You go to different places and you want the food, you're like, man, this shit ain't got the taste. Well, they don't sell you the chemicals that they sell you in America. They won't allow that over there in their country. They care about their people enough to say, nah, we not gonna sell that to them.
Look, we need to remember something, okay? He is right about that. It is a much cleaner taste. Like you can get, like there's places, man, you can order chicken like in South America. They chop that head in the back. They chop the head, pluck and feather it in the back. It's going to take you a second to get that fried chicken thing or that baked, whatever it is you're getting. But the texture and taste is going to be beyond anything you've ever known because it's fresh. Didn't sit in the store. Very true. Very true. Now, I don't think I want to trade off benefits as far as like what our country can provide, like the protection. We have a benefit from the protection, military, all of that stuff. Most of us do wake up and we don't think about like just folks flying over ahead and dropping. We don't. Let's just be honest. We would think about our own doing something to us before we think about outside forces. Why is that? Because we have been granted that comfort. Yeah, they got better foods and stuff maybe, but a lot of those places, the neighborhoods are nowhere near what ours are. Even the worst of our neighborhoods is nowhere near the hoods there. And anybody who's been overseas knows these things to be true, or even if you've just seen enough of it online. So things balance themselves out. Where we have our strengths and our flaws, all right, we don't have the best, freshest food because it's more factory. Well, maybe that's because a lot of those places can't afford a factory. I bet you as soon as they can and they do, their stuff will turn right into Western America. So it's a give and take. It's a give and take. It's not all the way one thing. You can say that all you want. Oh, they have beautiful beaches. Yeah, I hear you. But they also probably got a lot of other stuff going on that I don't want no parts of. So let's keep on going.
That's bad for them. You know what I'm saying? America sell you anything for money. You know what I'm saying?
I promise you, they do the same thing over there. Especially because they don't have as much money. They will too. All I'm saying is that all of these things are equal and evened out when you really look at the totality of it. It's the only thing I'm saying.
So it's like when you learn that, it's like, damn. So a lot of shit you can look up and see that you was taught over here ain't taught over there, and this the new country. Should we listen to the new country that just came about, or should we listen to the motherfuckers where this shit started at? And secondly, as a black man, this is what I was really trying to get at. As a black man, should I be following white people rules, is what I say. If I'm really from Africa, should I be listening to more African shit and doing, thinking more like a...
Well, first and foremost, not all of us are necessarily just from Africa. Again, we know that when it was once Pangea and the world was one large continent, the entire world was one large continent, and it's broken up multiple times. It's been named more than just Pangea. I might end the show off with that just to give an educational base before we go. But the thing is that you need to know what your roots are. The thing about it is that makes it so depriving is that we have been stripped of that information in a lot of areas. And we get like fragments of the whole entire crystal. So now we just have jewel shards. So we try to piece together these jewel shards throughout the planet that's been dispersed and spread. Respect to you all.
African, moving more like an African, or should I be following white people rules that they gave us in America? You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy? African people are under the rule of white people in Africa. So now that I just gave you that information, you make your mind up and choose what you're going to do, Mr. Thug.
As a black man. And then also, I was able to be successful without doing it. Go to college, talk proper. You have to know this to be successful. You got to pass our class. You got to go through our tests to get rich. Like, I was able to skip through that, do my own thing, and do shit my way. I never had to stop cursing. I can always curse. I never had to stop smoking. I always smoke and be able to live like I want to live. Like, I ain't have to, oh, you sound ignorant. So what? I'm richer than you. I got 17 Rolls Royces.
You see that? Right there. I'm not going to use this money to further like level up, like forget the Rolls Royces, man. Listen, do you know what like other folks be paying? Whatever the money is for them Rolls Royces, you know what they pay for? Different kits, you know, so they can like invent and build new things. Like, seriously. So let me show you just like an example, right? Before we get up out of here. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Hold on. Let me see something. I hope I can find it. All right, so watch. I'm just gonna show you just example. Shoot. Let me go here. I'm not on YouTube. I apologize. I'm gonna take this time, bro. There we go. Okay, so hold on. All right. I hope it pulls up. There we go. I found it. So look at this. So this is the example that I want to give, right? Let me pull this up. You bought 17 Rolls Royces. I promise you, the equipment, the everything involved in what he's doing right here. All right, I'm gonna pull this up. We invest money in cars and stuff like that. Let me show you what other people are doing. And we do things extraordinary as well. I'm just saying, these are the things that we brag about so much, and it kills me when I see that, and then I'm flicking online and I see videos like this.
So here's my prototype of the spinal battery. This is a fully centralized system. It has redundancies, safety fallbacks, and is capable of delivering large currents to peripherals like the ejectable or retractable Batman gauntlets that I designed. Never gets old. So for those not familiar, a peripheral is just a device. So this could be a motor, it could be a sensor, it could be a solenoid like with what I've got here. Doesn't really matter. It's just a device that's going to require power that's going to be a peripheral to that main system, which is what this will be powering. So if you didn't have a centralized power supply, you'd have to have batteries on each device individually, which one, that's awkward because you're adding more weight to awkward spots potentially. But the other problem is having more points to recharge your batteries, right? If you have a bunch of batteries all over, that's a lot of different places to charge up every time that you've used something. And then additionally, the larger problem is that if I needed something like this guy, this is a solenoid that draws a lot of power for a short moment, but to have a battery that...
I guarantee you, all that stuff, those things cost. And I promise you, it costs a lot of money to invent things like this. You know, like that money spent on Rolls Royces that depreciate in value the second it steps off the lot. These inventions could potentially make money to the point where you'll have Rolls Royces given to you as a gift. Man, stop playing. You wouldn't even have to buy one.
I could supply that, I'd have to have a pretty big battery, which would be quite clunky. It would make this big, awkward to move, and vulnerable. So this power supply is, of course, near my center of mass, so it's a lot easier to move with this on. It's easier to protect protect this right here. I can put more heavy armor on it and things like that because it's on my back. So by having this one device as well, I'm allowed to have a lot of different redundancies, different chips in here to make sure that the central power source can be damaged. It'll switch power to the other columns, whatever it needs to do, where you might not be able to do all of that logic in every single battery you'd be putting around your suit. So this little control PCB circuit board back here, which is made by PCBWay, is my regulation chip. It basically supplies a regulated 5-volt power supply for certain peripherals that need that if they don't want to run off of the typical 12 or 14 volt power. And it also splits the power so I can run it off more easily to other peripherals. So it's kind of like a power bus, but I have to have other circuitry in here like my dual power diodes, fuses and things in different spots, which basically I'll have a future chip that will be able to handle all of that. Now, no doubt there'll be questions on the arc reactor. This is, of course, not powering the suit. I designed this a couple years ago. I just wanted to show it off. And it also gives an example of a peripheral again.
This man done made an Iron Man chest core. Do you think it was cheap? Do you see everything? Like seriously, anybody who knows about folks who do that's nothing around him is inexpensive. I guarantee you. Guarantee you. Now, let's just say everything that he uses to make this is the price of one Rolls Royce. And then imagine if that kicks off and launches off the ground. Then what? But here it is, you bought 17 Rolls Royce and you riding in your car talking about you don't know where to park them. Priority, people.
This is just a device that I could plug into this guy back here to have it power, just like it powers my actual Batman blades here. So the Batman suit is not going to have an arc reactor. I'm trying to have everything in the suit be actually functional, as this is my interpretation of what an actual functional bat suit in the real world would look like. So now onto the actual cellular composition. So by now, I'm sure that you're thinking, can these just explode? Are they going to combust if you damage one of them? The answer is no. So lithium ion is the typical battery source that we use for a cell phone.
And all of that is you have to know a certain amount of science and everything. So when he says, man, what? I got more money than you. I got 17 Rolls Royces. Do you think that's going to impress somebody like him right there 10 years from now? Do you really think he's going to be impressed that you're saying you got 17 Rolls Royces? But 10 years ago, this is what he was in the basement doing. I just want us to think about what I know we can do. That's why I'm pushing myself further. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever get this far in science-wise, but I shall elevate. I shall elevate. I shall continue to grow. And I will not be sitting up here talking about the best attributes about me is something that I was able to buy. No, it will be, look at this right here that I created that you and many others can enjoy now.
Electric cars use them. They have phenomenal energy density, but they are prone to combust, can absolutely explode, and they're very dangerous. So I didn't want to actually strap that to my back. So these are actually lithium iron phosphate cells. They're 50% lighter than lithium ion, making them fantastic for a wearable. Doesn't weigh nearly as much, and it's literally incombustible. These cannot.
Lord knows how much just those two parts. Lord knows how much those cost. I guarantee you everything on him, everything around him, that costs bread. That costs a lot of money. And it doesn't look fancy, does it? You don't even understand half the stuff he's saying. What does that mean up there? What? Life PO4? That sounds like the brand of alkaline water. That sounds like an alkaline water. I don't know what that is. That's beyond me. But why? Seriously, even myself, when I look at these things, I'm like, I've always been so into it. Why didn't I ever invest in it myself? It's a lot that's changing today.
Catch fire, you can damage them, puncture them, whatever. It's not going to pose a threat to the wearer. Now, on top of this, they can actually be discharged to 100% as well, which is huge. So a lithium ion, you can't do that. It'll actually damage the battery. But by discharging 100%, what I mean is if you take a battery that's 12-volt battery, fully charged, it might be 12.8 or 13.2 or something.
This is the last one. Look at this right here. Look at what you can do, right? Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. See, this is the things that I think about right here. Let me go. And I know a lot of you guys definitely have seen this before. I'm not getting ready to pull up something that's completely foreign. Watch this right here. All right. You want to, whatever kind of, I guess, um, whatever impressive, right? So the main reason why I'm showing this before we get ready to get up out of here, I just want to make it very clear, like, yo, listen to me. It can work. So I'm going to skim through it because the video is real long. So I'm going to skim through it. Don't worry. We're going to watch pieces. I'm going to go forward. We're going to watch pieces and I'm going to go forward. Y'all ready? Look at this. Now, again, this ain't cheap to do. It's not cheap at all. Let me go ahead and hit my music. All right. Look at this. It's going to take a lot. The tools, everything. That takes quite a bit of money. The things that you can develop, create, and everything else. Now, mind you, you know what's crazy? They're not here in America. They're not in a country where it's as much money as here, right? So we're looking at all of this taking place, framework being carved out. Let's skip forward just a little bit. All right, let's skip forward. Boom. Let's do this. Boom. Now we're getting to this point. Do you think all of that's cheap? Yo, that costs some money to put that together. That's not, you don't just go get those things. You don't just go get that. But I'm just saying, like, the things that other people will invest their money in. And do you think that this person is not now in demand? You don't think it's people all over who have seen this and now they pay him good money to build them a wooden car just to have one? Probably don't even drive it. It's just to honor the art, right? Let's move forward. See what we got now. Let's go a little forward. The car's starting to come together. I promise you, all of the prime, sanding, everything, all of that, that's a whole shop. Now look, the money 9 times out of 10 was invested to have that shop. I guarantee you, he, like anywhere, he pays for that space. That's probably his shop. That's his spare lumber in the back. You can see how it's set up. You can see where the scraps and where the fresh, you can see it. And he goes here and he sets up and he creates. You see? Out of this world, amazing. Let's keep on going just a little further. Let's go ahead and go a little further now. Bye. What's going on? Look at that. Getting it sand. Looking good, looking good. Let's go a little further. Hold on. Epoxy. And even down to calibration, equalizing, knowing the revs of RPMs, temperature, because that is wood, and if it has a real engine, it actually can overheat. You see? Look at all of this. Look at that. Like, come on. And if you think for a second that that is cheap to make, it's not. I'm only speaking about the things that we can invest to do. You get the drift on that. So when I say, yeah, I'd rather take my grandfather's land Once I'm done with this last surgery, I have one last surgery to do. Once I'm done with this very last surgery, I'm going to Virginia. And I'm going to build on that land. It's my work. It's my word. Why? Because I realize that I can take something that has been left to me and I can make it of a beneficial factor that can be of a benefit, not just to myself, but for anybody within my circle and around me. I can actually possibly employ people, all of these things. But there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of fine print. It ain't going to be just you go down there and buy it. No. That's why this is going to be definitely a stretch of some time. It's going to be something I'm going to have to really dig deep into and make sure I stick with it. I will get discouraged at times. It's going to happen. There are going to be times I'm going to say, F it. Maybe I shouldn't even. Maybe it ain't. But I always have to remember that whenever those type of things happen, it's only simply because it is to try to distract you from staying on your course. When you know you have a purpose and you know that you have a trajectory and a direction and a path that you are on, you're going to have things that's going to try to distract you from that. Don't let it do it. All right. I'm starting a new channel, which will be up soon. I guess what I'll do is I'll just tag it over here before I, for the most part, shut down over here. I'm just gonna not all the way, but I'm just shutting down Smitty's Corner. So I'm just gonna redirect it to another place. That's what I'm gonna do. So I appreciate everybody being here. Let me see what I got. Yeah. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Respect to you all. Just the beginning of what it is that I am learning. So, without further ado, I bring you my first short story. It's called The Restoration. I hope you enjoy. Let's go. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful queen who resided on the land in which she and her very strong king resided on together. The king was away. He was away battling their ultimate enemy, the one who seeks to destroy any and everything of love. So the enemy opens a portal and unleashes, unfortunately, the dragon, who has been in a slumber for over 7,000 years, hungry to devour anything of love. The king is on his ship with his men, battling, and now he sees the storms and he knows that the dragon is unleashed. He then heads back. He gets closer and he sees. He then asks the genie, what does the future hold? And the genie told him, grave devastation if one does not bring back the restoration. So now the king sits. As the ship sails forward, he meditates and ponders. They then arrive onto the shore. He's back on land. And instantly, he heads straight for the mountaintop to defeat the dragon. The dragon was a bit much for him, so the king had to morph. And so the king transformed into his ultimate form. Now ready for the battle, the king was able to finally, with eyes that glowed of flames of light, with the only thing in mind is I must bring back the restoration before grave devastation. Finally, after the battle is won, the king stands on the hill high overlooking, and just then the enchantress of the forest appears and restores everything anew. And with that, she gives a gift, thanking the king for all the hard work, thanking him for helping bring back restoration. So now the king and queen sail back home. And along this long travel across the sea, it felt like it was just moments, because the king and queen has restored the restoration. Everything has went back to new, and they reside on their land again, with all being at peace. The end.